Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, and welcome to one more live satsang. Today we have more amazing stories, amazing happenings from Adi Karanandi's courtyard after Swamiji has initiated the new species into the manifestation of length and breadth dimension and the dimension of depth. The depth dimension has started to express so amazingly, so beautifully. Actually, yesterday I had shared about Chidambaram, how in the ancient times, Sadashiva himself awakened the ability to read the Akashic records in Agastya Muni, and how he went into that state of Shaktinipada and initiated his disciples also into reading the Akashic records. And for who knows how many thousands of years, between then and now, the same happening has not taken place on planet Earth until our Sadashiva himself, in the form of Swamiji, has given this power to the Balasants. Another happening that took place in Chidambaram was that Patanjali, whom some call the father of yoga, was able to actually go into that state of Sadashivatva, that pure oneness with Sadashiva, and sit in the center in an enclosure while 1,000 disciples sat around him, and through 1,000 heads, he expressed all the wisdom of existence to be transcribed. Now, I think this is the happening most similar to what we see happening here on a daily basis. Actually, scholars and those who are studying and immersed in the understanding of Sanatana Hindu Dharma are so inspired by this event because it was from there that the Patanjali Yoga Sutras was revealed. I was wondering about this. How is it that we are so blessed, so unimaginably blessed, that every single day we get to witness a revelation just like this happening again? Actually, for the past few days, as these new species, the Balasants of the Nithyananda Gurukul, the child saints who are in the residential school here, are able to just immediately answer any question, receive any information, and even give updates on what we currently feel is the scientifically valid way to go about doing things. Actually, you've already heard two of the doctors here, Dr. Sona and Dr. Saraswati. They shared an amazing happening in which they asked one Balasant how she would treat a very specific medical condition. The first few steps the Balasant listed were exactly verbatim what would be done, what would be found in any medical textbook. But from there, she revealed new information that neither of them had ever heard of before, despite their many years in medical school and in practice. And so we can see, just as Patanjali revealed the Yoga Sutra and gave an update on what was currently being practiced then, through the Balasants, Sadashiva himself, Swamiji himself, is now updating even our medical understandings. I was wondering, how is it that when the disciples of Patanjali saw him revealing information through his 1,000 heads, they were burnt? And yet here we see Swamiji revealing this information through his thousands of heads to the thousands of disciples around the world, and yet we're able to retain this energy. I feel for sure it's just the grace that he's bestowed upon all of us. The preparations that he's given us through the pure sattvic organic vegetarian food, of course the Nithyananda Yoga, and the alchemy products we've all been sitting with since the time of Sadashivoham. We might be taking it lightly because it seems so casual. Swamiji might be sitting there on his swing in the courtyard saying, now you all have the breath dimension, start expressing. And suddenly the Balasants can sing songs they've never heard before, draw pictures of famous art they've never seen before, even draw pictures of obscure art that has never been shown in a gallery, just by hearing the name of the artist. It might seem very casual, especially when you see participants of Nithyananda Yogam come to this podium holding up, a sketchbook with some lined paper and a rough doodle. Actually, yesterday, I was almost jumping backstage when some people were saying, the page the Balasant was drawing on, it's been misplaced. I'm not sure where it is now. Or it's been cleaned up, as if these are not precious, sacred items that are going to be historically venerated. We might feel very casual about what's going on here because Swamiji is making it seem so easy. But what's happening here is that we are literally living in a Purana. For thousands of years to come, beings on planet Earth are going to be talking about the events taking place here now, the early days of the year 2017. Because every single day is a breakthrough. Every single Shakti that Swamiji manifests in the new species is something historically unprecedented. And he's leading us further and further and further into literally a new civilization that I like to refer to as a Shivilization. He's taking us further into oneness with him. And it's such a beautiful thing. Now, yesterday I had mentioned, of course, about the expression of length and breadth. But I'd like to talk just a little bit about depth before I invite the Nithyananda Yogam participants and the Balasants to share their experiences. Swamiji said that the dimension of breadth is the dimension in which we can actually manipulate matter. Materialization, teleportation, telekinetic expression. The first level, the first expression of this Shakti, Balasants are sitting in that state of Shaktinipada, which can only very roughly be translated as entanglement, experiencing that oneness with him. The Balasants sit and connect with a coconut, and just through the power of their will, either by staring at that coconut, directing the will through their eyes, or waving their hands really casually, directing the coconut with their movement, they're able to make it roll one side to the other side, stand up straight. And yesterday, many were actually cracking the coconut open, and just through that Shakti. Swamiji had said that when someone is experiencing that complete Advaitic space with Sadashiva, even the world itself will move at their will. Historically, we've heard of incarnations, avatars, of Sadashiva making this happen. One beautiful story that illustrates this happened in Madurai during the time of Meenakshi. Meenakshi's mother wanted to take a bath, so Sundareshwara, the embodiment of Sadashiva who came as her husband, moved all the 7 seas into a bathing pool in order for her to take a bath and enjoy all the waters of the world. Similarly, in Swamiji's own life, when he was in the form of a young child and his other form, Arunagiri Yogishwara, appeared to bless him at Arunachala, he experienced the literal physical happening of Arunachala moving into oneness with him. Arunagiri Yogishwara just waved his hands, brought Arunachala and Arunachaleshwara, the temple deity, into a space exactly embracing the young Swamiji. It's easy for us to hear stories of incarnations, of avatars, of Sadashiva, by their will moving matter physically. But it's something else entirely to understand that Sadashiva himself is initiating his disciples to do it. I think none of us find it surprising, or at least we shouldn't, if we've seen the power Swamiji has awakened in so many. None of us find it surprising to know that Sadashiva himself can move the world by his will. But it is so beautiful, so exciting, and so unprecedented to see Sadashiva give that same power to those who are in that state of oneness with him. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Nithyananda Yogam participants and the Balasants with whom they've been sitting to experience this great awakening, the manifestation of these Shaktis. And we'll start with Ma Nitya Devananda and the Balasant Rahul.
Nithyanandam, we were paired with Balasant Rahul yesterday, and we're manifesting both the length, which is logic, and the breadth, which is visualization dimensions. So we asked him to visualize an ancient Greek statue named Venus de Milo. He was not familiar with. When he asked him what he saw, he said he saw that she was standing, which she is. We asked what she was made of, and he said marble. He said he saw the color white, which is all accurate. Then we asked him when she was created. He said he saw 100 BC. And in Wikipedia, it lists that between 130 and 100 BCE is when she was carved. When I asked the dimension, either in centimeters or inches, he said he saw 80. The answer is 203 centimeters or 80 inches. When we asked her height, he stated 6 feet. And after a couple attempts, he also said 8 inches. And that is also accurate. She is 6 feet, 8 inches. And he said he saw her holding something. And a very distinct feature of this famous ancient Greek statue is her arms are broken off. But the amazing thing is that the drawing of her original depiction shows her holding something. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, Rahul. Nithyanandam.
So how amazing. And next, to share an experience of the same breadth dimension, we have Ma Nitya Bodhanananda.
Nithyanandam, it's Ma Nithyananda Bodhana, just a correction. So the person that asked me to work with her, I was so excited because so far I hadn't seen anyone demonstrate this particular power. So that's going to be the third thing I'm going to mention. I'm going to lead it up to it because when you're working, you want to kind of warm up. So Ma Yanatma has a few things to display. The first thing this person asked me, that I asked her, was there's a famous painter named Nicholas Roerich. He was Russian. He was considered to be enlightened, and he did many, many pictures of what he called Shambhala. So I asked her to draw a painting from Nicholas Roerich. So if you can first show the line, it's an ink drawing of mountains. So she drew this line mountain. Now understand, so far the paints hadn't been out, so it was just a line drawing. He had many paintings, so when she was done, I was looking at it thinking that it was blue. And she kept saying, no, it's pink. The mountains are pink. When we looked at the imagery, we found the piece of artwork that's pink mountains with she drew a round structure that's like a sun. There's actually a figure there. She said, well, actually, there was a figure in the sky above these pink mountains, but I was thinking, she used her logic. She goes, I was thinking, why would there be a figure in the sky? So I made it a sun. So here's the picture. You can see the mountains with the round sun that she saw as a figure. And there's the actual painting. She was going to finish painting it in pink. I just want to, before I go to the next one, I want to give you a picture of what this courtyard's like. So many of you have been only learning through us what it's like to sit in this small space with Swamiji. I can say mostly it's serene, the birds are chirping, Swamiji's talking or reclining. Well, let me tell you, the last 2 days, there's kids and people all over, there's paint everywhere, there's the water cups with the paintbrushes, there's clay, there's charcoal markers, there's pastel markers, there's Play-Doh, there's coconut halves because they've all been cracked open. All of this is all over the courtyard. There's Krista Sheila big ones, Krista Sheila small ones. It's hardly able to walk because you have to make sure that you don't step on somebody's painting or drawing or clay sculpture that they've done. So this has been the beautiful space of the courtyard the last 2 days. Now let me talk about her next thing. The next thing is Swamiji wanted us to be doing GPS with them. So I wanted to do a local highway. It's called M22. It's locally famous in Michigan. So who would know this highway? It's very small, very scenic route. So I just gave her the picture, I drew the words M22, and I asked her to draw where this was, the location, all of that. So she started and immediately said the word Michigan, which was correct. Then she drew, all of you might know that the uniqueness of Michigan is a mitten shape. She drew the mitten shape, and then she proceeded to draw the route, which is up in the northwest corner along the lake line of Michigan. So we have those two pictures side by side. We can show those. Keep going. Okay, she doesn't have that. Okay, the last one was the one I was most excited about. I'm so passionate about music, and Swamiji said the breath dimension is all about the emotion that comes up with poetry, with art, with music. I kept thinking, surely, if you show, okay, we'll stop and look at this M22, and there's the top part of Michigan, and the route is in red. And you can see she's written the word Michigan, she's drawn the mitten shape, and then she's shown the first part of the route up in the northwest corner. So it's just amazing doing these processes. So then I got to the one I was most excited about. What I wanted to do was give the name of a piece of music that this person wouldn't know, have them look into the Krista Sila, and I didn't know how it would express, because sometimes you have music in your head, sometimes you hear it. So I said, I'm going to put a piece of music down, and I'll just tell you it was Ode to Joy by Beethoven. I want you to hum it. Now imagine if you don't know a piece of music and you start humming, you'll never actually click with the tune if you don't know the tune. So she closed her eyes and she just started humming randomly, just various notes as they were occurring to her. Suddenly I heard, It was the first 6 notes. I said, stop, you've got it. And she just looked at me and like, what? See, how will she know? Because she doesn't know the tune, so how will she know that's the tune? Now what I'll give you is today, we'll do a recording. We'll start working on the music as they hear it and record. I also asked Swamiji about this. He said as long as they're looking into the Krista Sila, looking only into it, they should be able to have an instrument in their hands and actually play a tune. He then said they can take a bow and arrow, and as long as they're looking into the Krista Sila, there should be a mark. Looking into it and drawing the bow, they should be able to hit the mark exactly. So these are so many exciting things we can all be working on, but what are some of the implications? So the last thing I want to tell you is I worked with a different person yesterday, a different Balasant, and I said, let's find the location of Malaysian Aircraft 370, because Swamiji's already talked about cardiology. Many kids were working on the Titanic. What if an aircraft is in flight and it's lost? These people will immediately be able to start tracking and finding. So anyway, I asked the Balasant, she looked in her Krista Sila, she immediately drew, I think all of us know that Australia government has taken the search and they think it's off Perth. Anyway, she drew Asia, she drew Australia, and then she's like this. Oh, there's a little island right here. It's only the tube part, but the whole tube part is sitting on this island. And I only see a very few amount of people, so it's not like the whole 270 people are on this island. She was very clear about that. So today we're going to work on getting the actual coordinates of the island, bringing in the length dimension, And just imagine again the implications. What Swamiji said after asking these questions, he says, there's only me. And now I'm only training these Balasants. And there's so much to be done, and there's so much to be done with this. So all of you have to come. You have to send your kids to the Gurukul. We have to expand this and spread and spread and spread, and look what we can be doing for humanity. So thank you, and looking forward to sharing more with you.
How amazing. So next we have Dr. Sona, Dr. Saraswati, and their Balasant, Ma Nithyananda Matananda.
Nithyanandam, this is Dr. Saraswati. Yesterday I was entangling with Ma Jnanamata. It's so pleasant to work with her. She's her description of things, her twinkle eyes when she describes things, so pleasant to watch yesterday. Swamiji said you can work with length and breadth yesterday. Initially we gave her some math problems. Later on we went to the breadth part, where I asked her, do you know Statue of Liberty? And she said, no. Then I said, can you tell me, first start with where it is and just describe. And so she started to see, and she wrote Statue of Liberty in New York. She wrote this in her notebook. The spelling also she wrote Newyork. And then she realized, is it New York? Oh, there should be Y then. And then she said, and that's what she wrote initially. And then she said, it is so big, right? And then she said, it'll be like this. And then she said, it's like blue and green color. We have to mix the colors like that, it'll come, right? And then she said, there's water underneath. And then she said, there is like stairs, you can go like this up, right? And like that she was describing. And then she colored this. She did the drawing of that. She used 2 color pens to mix the colors, and then she made sure those colors mixed well to get the right color. That much precision. And then I asked at the end, then what is the size of it? Can you know the height of it? And she put 92 meters, and when I verified, it was actually 93 meters. That was so amazing. And the description, actually the way she describes, we know she's there watching. I mean, the picture didn't justify, but she actually, the way she describes with a twinkle in her eye and then the gestures, so beautiful to watch. And as if she's there. I mean, how does she know? There's inside like this stairs, right? You can go up. Can you also fall off from there? She said it. And I said, if you want to, it's okay. So she's like so cute to watch when they do that. And also I asked, we asked her different things, and one other thing I wanted to show is in the place where I live in Atlanta, I said there is a Swaminarayan temple. Can you describe that? And so she described exactly. It says it's a big, right, and it's cream color, and there is water in it, there is a pond in the front. And there's a brick, this orangish color brick layer in the front, all that she described. And she drew this picture. But her description is more like, it's really amazing. The pictures, that's what. And she described the inside deity. She said there's Balarama, there's Krishna, there's Hanuman, and that's right, actually everything is there. She described more details when she's describing. Thank you so much. And I'll give it to Dr. Sona.
Nithyananda, I'm Dr. Sona Kamat. I'm a physician in the United States. And the day before, Manana Mata and Dr. Saraswati and I were working on both the length and the breadth dimension. We gave her a tablet to hold in her hand. And she looked at it and she said, there's an A, there's a Z, a Y, And we said, please write it down. And she wrote out the word azithromycin. So these are difficult letters. Even if you're just guessing randomly out of the 26 letters, it's very difficult to put together something of that magnitude even. So that was fascinating for us. But really what I wanted to share was the depth dimension. So yesterday, Ma Nana Mata and I were working with the coconut. And what I want to tell you is I'm one of the biggest skeptics. So if you're out there trying to poke holes into this theory and say, well, the musculature of the hand, maybe contributes to the movement of the coconut, I thought of all of that before you did. And what we're seeing here is something that all of you people at home, I'm sorry to say, have only witnessed or seen in a Hollywood movie. So what we are experiencing is real, live, actual movement of matter. And that's what it feels like when you have that coconut in your hand and the Balasant is able to actually engage that coconut. You can feel when they actually engage the coconut. You can actually feel the pressure of it in your hand, and that's why we are working with the hand first. Once they master moving this coconut in the hand, they're going to start putting it on a table or a solid surface and then moving it from there. The other thing that I found to be very fascinating is that when I worked with the Balasants and they were able to engage the coconut and my third eye, I then was able to also move the coconut as well. So there's some transference either of energy or neuron mirroring that is taking place that allows for this type of skill or ability, or however you want to think it, to go from person to person. And it made it so simple. I think the other reason that it happens so easily for even adults with the Balasants is that they have absolutely no inhibition. If Swamiji says, you can move this coconut just by looking at it, they truly know in their heart that this is what they are capable of. And then they just do it. As adults, we think, well, could it be the muscles in the hand? Could it be the way that the hand is being held? Could it be that the wind blew and the coconut moved? I mean, we come up with all kinds of ideas and thoughts, and societal conditioning that we have predisposes us to these thought patterns. They have none of this. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that the coconut, when I had the coconut in my hand and one of the Balasants actually cracked it, it was really interesting. The reason it was interesting from a medical perspective is that it was a very clean, sharp, linear cut, very precise, as if it was cut by a laser. Now, imagine the medical implications of this. There was no trauma to my hand, which was holding the coconut. The cut was sharp and clean. Now imagine if that coconut was a human skull. Some of the most complicated medical procedures are the neurosurgical procedures in medicine. The complication rates are high. Bleeding, infection, damage to the surrounding tissues, all of those things predispose these types of procedures to a high rate of complications. Imagine if a 12-year-old was able to look at the skull and make a precise cut, not have any damage, to the surrounding tissue, limit blood loss, and you could possibly even go home that same day, not months later. For those of us in science and in medicine, for those of us who have traditionally required a double-blinded, randomized, placebo-controlled trial to believe anything, we are fascinated by this, and if you could come here and experience this, I would wish it for you. But let me tell you, for someone who's been a skeptic, to actually witness and experience this is unbelievable.
Actually, I wanted to add one thing. Yesterday, after entangling with her for 2 days, in the evening, we were just casually sitting, and then there was coconut, and I just casually held it. Playfully, I just was looking at it, and actually it lifted and it fell. I'm like, I couldn't believe in the middle of it. I'm like, hey, can somebody get the video of this? And then I got the video. And I mean, that's the first time I tried, and it happened for me, and I couldn't believe it actually, after entangling with the Balasants for a few days now. Thank you.
Wow, so here we're seeing everything from finding a lost airline to medical procedures as complicated as brain surgery being innovated. And we're only just seeing the beginning of the manifestation of the third dimension, the dimension of depth. Who knows what more Swamiji is going to make available to us? To share a little bit more about what has been going on, I'd like to invite Liza, Bhakti Rupa, and their Balasant, Ma Nitya Maheshwarananda. Sorry, Bhakti Priya.
Nithyanandam, I was lucky enough to be entangling with Maheshwara, and we did lots and lots of interesting things through the few days that I was with her, and she's been doing lots and lots more interesting things since, and with Bhakti Priya also. The first thing I'd like to share with you is I asked her to draw a map of Tasmania, and she said, oh, is that in Africa? And I thought, oh, she must think I'm talking about Tanzania. So before I could even explain to her, no, it's in Australia, I turned around and there was a beautiful little map of my heart-shaped island where I live, with the dot exactly where Hobart is on that map. I was stunned. I didn't even have time to explain to her, no, it's in Australia. So, and the next thing I'd like to share with you is the next day when we were in the depth dimension, we were doing some famous artist pictures with some colours, and I asked her to draw a Vermeer painting of a girl with a red hat. And she started drawing and said to me, oh, I don't know about this hat, it looks like a pirate's hat. So she stopped drawing the drawing for a moment and said, I'm just going to do the background. So we actually have a picture of the background as well, which I thought, well, that's a bit strange. It's just a dark, smudgy colour with some yellow in the middle. And I thought, well, okay, so we'll keep going. And then when I looked at the actual picture, there was the dark colour with the yellow in the middle and the girl with the red hat in the middle of that, and I thought if we cut out the picture of the girl with the red hat and put it on the background, she's got the picture. It was beautiful. Thank you. The next thing I'd like to share is about I asked her to draw the national flower of Britain, and she got excited about the colours actually and just went wild with them, and said, no, all I can see is red and green, so she started drawing the picture, and we've got a really beautiful coloured picture of this. So she was just talking about the blue and green, and when I showed her the photo of the flower, it is just a photo of blue and green, really, and she's got it exactly. Okay, and now Bhakti Priya would like to talk about what she did.
Nithyanandam. Day before yesterday, I got a chance to sit with Maheshwara, and being a fashion designer, like I'm always fond of dresses, and as Swamiji said that with the breadth dimension, anything related to art and culture, you can anything ask. So I was just thinking, let me ask one of the a traditional dress from India, but I want to ensure that it should not be, like she should not see the dress. So I purposely selected like West India from Manipur, and I asked her, can you draw a traditional dress of Manipur? And then she started drawing the dress, and everybody was like, what she has drawn, like it's like a completely different dress, it's not a normal dress. So you just see the dress. This is a traditional folk dance dress from Manipur, and she drew exactly. So apart from this, like I just asked, like where is my Purva ashram, where I used to live before coming here, and suddenly she said it's a red fort. I was like, come on, I was not living in a red fort. So she said, no, I'm seeing a red building, just it's a red fort. So then I realized just opposite to Maipur ashram, there is one of the Mughal emperor tomb is there, which is in red color building. So she said, okay, come to the next side, and there is my place where I used to live. And then she started describing, you enter, where is the sofa, what is the color of the sofa, what is the curtain, window, everything, how many rooms, how many bathrooms, where is my puja room, like each and everything she described correctly. So it was so amazing sitting with her.
Next she's going to talk about her.
So Nithyanandam, and yesterday evening, Swamiji had initiated us into the day before yesterday evening. Swamiji initiated us into the depth dimension where, we just entered it, where you can move the coconuts or crack them and break them open. And so I was sitting with Ma Liz, and I was telling her that okay, let's try it too. And I sat, and originally I was trying to move the coconut, and it wasn't moving actually. And then after that I said, okay, Sadashiva is only going to do it, so let us be patient. So I waited for a few minutes, and then I said, okay, let me entangle with the coconut and with Ma Liz, and let's see what happens. So I entangled with her and brought the oneness space into myself. And then when I just casually told the coconut to start lifting up, and started doing the movements like this, and it automatically started lifting up. And it was something like even I didn't expect. I was thinking, oh, it's anyway not going to work, and all this thing is just my own some superstition and all that. So basically I understood that when we break the cognition that it's not us, it is Sadashiva who is doing it, not only that you manifest powers, you even get a breakthrough in your original thought currents, and you can see that there's a much different being living inside you, which is just waiting to express out.
So this was a totally amazing experience for me. And as a school teacher, watching children struggle with anxiety, is it right, is it wrong? What I noticed more than anything else was that there's just no self-doubt. There is no worry about whether it's right or wrong. These children never give up, and they just have such self-confidence. It was beautiful. So I decided to take a little bit of that self-confidence last night, and I picked up a coconut and thought, okay, Swamiji, help me lift this coconut. And I just moved my hands, and the coconut rolled off the back of my hand. And yeah, it was amazing. So I'm so grateful to be here right now. This is history. It's amazing. Thank you.
So next I would like to invite Ma Supraja, Shati Bama, Valentina, and their beautiful Balasant, Ma Nitya Vairagya Mayananda.
Thank you. Nithyanandam, my team here with our Balasant, Ma Vairagyananda Mayananda, we have been working together for the past 2 days. And before we share with you the experiences, breakthroughs we have been having, I'd like to give you a bit of background of myself and how all this fits in for me. I'm kind of retired after more than 25 years of corporate experience in blue chip companies, heading human resources function. One of the biggest challenges I always face is getting in fresh graduates in the company who have all the degrees that you would dream of, but then who are not capable of demonstrating or exhibiting even basic skills. Sometimes coming up on stage, making a presentation, talking properly, and getting people's attention. I'm talking of really basic skills here, let alone, more advanced skills. And in the corporate world, we spend resources, time and money building those basic skills in graduates, you know. Not only in graduates, but sometimes in more experienced adults. I think we can all just imagine what I'm talking about. And here, I'm surrounded with kids who are managing projects. They are managing temples, who can exhibit enormous project management skills, organization skills, leadership skills, you name it. And I can't imagine what it would be to have such kids, or when they are older, as fresh graduates, into an organization, to manage your operations, to manage your finances, to manage your security, to manage your audit, you name it, because they are super managers. So that, for me, the implications of having such new species in this world is just unimaginable. And all this is happening to the mere Sadashiva transcending everybody here. It's marvelous. Our experience over the past 2 days have been a number of things that Vairagya Mayananda has been exhibiting. I myself have been, I introduced myself as a hardcore septic. The day before, things have been happening, and with my skepticism, I said, I was kind of forced into trying to move the coconut. And in a matter of seconds, it happened. And I said, no, no, no. I said, no. The Balasant must have done it herself. It's not me. I did it 3 times, but I still did not believe it. And yesterday, I tried it again. And I made sure that the hand was not moving, the hand was not in an upward position, the head was very stable. I made sure of everything, and I myself held the coconut in a position that no one can question, and it happened again and again. So this is just fantastic. I can't believe it. So I'll pass on the mic. No, before passing on the mic, I'll have to share a few of the things that had been happening. We asked Ma yesterday to give us the distance between England and Japan. And she wrote 9406 decimal 646 kilometers. And the answer is 9406 decimal 616. So she was decimal 01 difference between the real one. And this is completely insignificant. This is exactly what she wrote. We asked her to situate Mauritius on the world map. And if we can have the projection of the location of Mauritius on the world map. No, you don't have it? Okay. No, this. So she drew the location of Mauritius on the world map. And I must tell you that people around, when they ask me, so, well, it's going to be a bit difficult probably. When I tell people I'm from Mauritius, 90% of adults tell me, where is it? They don't know, they've not heard about Mauritius. It's a tiny island in the Indian Ocean. And she drew the exact location of Mauritius on the world map. Then we asked her to draw the map. We asked her to draw the map of Mauritius, and if we can have the projection of so this is what she drew, which is approximately 90% of the real map of Mauritius. And for a kid who has never seen what Mauritius looks like, it's marvelous. Thank you.
Nithyanandam, my name is Supraja. I'm from Dallas, Texas. So it's been 2 days working with Ma Vairagya Mayananda. So day before yesterday, we were sitting with the coconut. So basically, it was taking longer time for her than her friends. So she was like, I was so surprised she was not giving up. She was just holding and said, "No, ma, we'll make it today." I was like, okay. And then I was holding the coconut in my right hand and left hand. We are going on and on. And then suddenly, after some time, she started doing slowly, slowly, slowly. And then I was like, really, is it happening? She was almost into tears. Ma, I did it. Then I said, okay, let's do one more time. And then she just sat and she was just staring with her eyes and she just lifted. She did not even use hand or anything. This was just second time. And then we kept on practicing, and other two kids were practicing. And the amazing thing is, the minute they start moving with their hand or doing like this, I can literally feel in my hand. It's like how the separation is happening, and it's like an energy ball is sitting in the hand, and slowly, slowly, you just know it is falling. And then I was experiencing, it's like a oneness. I was experiencing what she was experiencing in the throat and how it is moving, when it is lifting, everything. Then I asked her, Ma, this is what are you going through? She said, yes. That was one confirmation for me because I was feeling it inside. And then after the end of the day, it was like most of the time the coconut was in my left hand. Suddenly, I said, okay, I just kept it and I was looking around and suddenly coconut started lifting. I was surprised. Ma, Vairagya Maya is not there, how come this is lifting? Then Ma, the other side, Ma, you are able to do. I said, that's not possible. Then I tried on the right hand, it was taking longer, but the minute I put the coconut on the left hand, it is like a memory is stored in my muscles, it just starts lifting. So without me doing anything, just entangling with the kids, just spending time with the kids. And it was like a doubt, so I took the coconut, walking around and showing it to my friends, want to see. It was like worse than a small child. And then even in the night, I was holding in the room and trying in a different way. Is it really true? Yes, it is. So, and I tried with 5 different people holding in their hands. When the kids hold, I was able to move the coconut. And the people who are initiated by Swamiji with the entangled with the kids with the coconut, I was able to do. But the people who are not, I was not able to move the coconut in their hand. But they said they can feel the vibration, the movement is happening. So that's what I want to share. Thank you. And another one more thing. Yesterday we were doing the length and the breath, so it was not going good. So Vairagya, Maya, Ananda and myself thinking, Ma, today is not happening properly. But whatever questions we asked, she did it. Other than one, all the questions, 100% she did it. End of the day, I was saying, Ayoyo, the day just gone. Then I wanted to test it out because at the end of the day, we also start doing it. So I asked the Ma there, can you ask me one question? I'm sitting with the Krishna Shila. She said, Ma, tell me how many kids I have and the gender and the age. I was able to do that. And Ma asked one question. She said, I'm just projecting an object. You just tell. I thought, oh my God, it's an object. How many objects? So I kept on going, and nothing was out. Whatever I say, she says, go on. It was not right. Then I thought of her, how she worked with the coconut. I said, that's it. Let me just relax. And the minute I relaxed, it just appeared, and I could say the object. It was umbrella. Yes, thank you.
Nithyananda. So I'm going to share actually what we experienced on the day before yesterday. And it's about one painting. It was the first question that we asked to Vairagya Mayananda, sorry. And it belongs to the painters Van Gogh. The name of the paintings is Iris. And this happens because as soon we create the group and we sit all together, she say, I want to draw. So I run and take my color and the book, and she start after we say, can you draw please the iris? She start drawing. She said the color is blue or purple, and the leaves are long and thin. And the very the particularity of the painter is this white iris in the middle of all the blue iris. And exactly is in the painting is she did it yellow to make it sure. I would like to show you again because it's very, very particular. Actually, well, I don't know if we can project it again. Okay, yes, it's in the middle is the yellow one. That is the only one. Is the stranger in the middle of. Yes, we have been very surprised. And then we asked also the date of when Van Gogh painter was just drawing in, and this, and she say immediately. Sorry, can I need to. 1889. So it was like wow, incredible. Yes, she was really in with Van Gogh actually. Yes. And yesterday, what happened is just an experience that I had, and it was very interesting because she was drawing the map, she was just keeping cares of all the other questions, and suddenly I just I take a pencil and I try drawing, and I was drawing almost for half an hour, and this, what I did, it was very almost incredible because this phase that it happens, it was changing every single minute was changing. It was a female, it was nothing, and then at the end it was like it appears. So I just wanted to show you because I've been very surprised. And also with the Krishna Shila we experienced, me and mine, it was very good. Yeah. Oh. This is the iris, if we can adjust. Thank you, Ma. Yeah. So very good. Yeah, well done. Thank you very much.
It's really just beautiful to see how they're able to see any piece of artwork from any artist anywhere in the world. Last but certainly not least today, we have Ma Shakti Rupa, Ma Nishtalananda and their Balasant, Shri Nitya Mahagitananda.
Nithyananda, and I'm Nithyananda. And day before yesterday, me and Shakti Rupa got entangled, Shakti Nipada with the Mahagita Maharaj. And at the time he came to me, he immediately gave the coconut to me and said, "Hold it, Ma, I want to show you the demo." Okay, I'm holding the coconut. I'm started what he is doing. He is lifting up or down. He said, no, I'm going to break it now. Immediately he just within 15 seconds and started the first crack. And after the half an hour, he made it 1, 2, 3, and after it's going on, and he made it 14 cracks in that. It's really surprising. After entangling with Mahagita Maharaj, me and Shakti Rupa immediately start to move the coconut, and we didn't believe it. So we practiced with many people whether we are able to move the coconut really or not. So it's working really. Thank you.
Nithyanandam, actually it was not 14 cracks, it was 17 to 18 cracks. So actually just sitting with Mahagita Maharaj as he moves the coconut is such an amazing experience. Just as he moves the coconut, not just the coconut feels the oneness, even you feel so much of oneness and bliss. So both of us, Mahagita Maharaj, he was just cracking the coconut, and it went on for a few hours. And he will just say, "Oh, one more crack happened, see." And I asked him, "How do you know the crack happened?" And he just said, "Oh, I just see it." So it was so amazing. So after the few hours, actually it was night time. So in the night time, Mahagita Maharaj, he was saying, "Oh, I'm a little tired." So he, just lay down for 1 minute. Then he just got up and said, "I'm going to crack the coconut." And then he just started working with the coconut again. So it was so amazing to see the will persistence of the Balasants. When Swamiji initiated them, every one of the Balasants, see, if Swamiji had initiated us, we look at the coconut and we'll say move, and after 2-3 tries we'll think we're a little loose. But these Balasants, they're just like they just know it is going to break. So when we entangled and we were having Shaktini Pada with Mahagita Maharaj, in the night when Mahagita Maharaj left, we were in that ecstasy and we saw one or two Nithyananda Yogam participants move the coconut. Then both of us thought, let's try. So she and me just casually were trying to move the coconut, right? The moment we just sat with the coconut and just invoked Swamiji, literally we felt we were Swamiji. For me, so much, like it was not even me, it was Swamiji. Like how when we give healing, all of us when we give spiritual healing, Swamiji, how it will be when he enters the body. Like that, it felt like such an ecstasy. And for me, literally, I was just looking at the coconut with such ecstasy, and the coconut just moved and fell. And yesterday, I thought, okay, let me see whether it happens again. So, Viraja, one of the Balasants, she said, hey, I told her I can move the coconut. So she said, okay, move it. So she held one coconut, and I was just looking at the coconut with ecstasy, and I just had one thought, okay, move to the right. And I was just looking at it. I didn't move my hand or anything. She just looked at me and said, hey, I know what you're doing. You're instructing it to move it to the right. So it is so amazing. She just knows what I'm trying to do. And within maybe 30 seconds, something, it just moved and it fell. So it is such an amazing experience. Thank you.
So I think the smiles, the enthusiasm, and the excitement says it all. Swamiji had told us recently that the greatest source of suffering, stress, anxiety, depression, anger, violence is the stress that children get in examinations. That exam stress, that fear of studying, the fear of failure. I can say 100% across the board, every single Balasant in Nithyananda Gurukul, when we ask them questions, they ask for harder questions. When they're given exams, they ask for one more exam. When they're told to crack the coconut, they'll crack it and crack it and crack it. And again, with even more enthusiasm and excitement, they'll not only crack it, but also bring us into a space in which we can also crack it through that Shaktini Pada. I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is the only place, not only on planet Earth, but I'm sure in all the cosmos, where not only those who are learning are excited to learn, enjoy the process of learning, don't even have to think about learning. What they need to know just lands on them. But also whoever is giving the test, they'll tell that person, if you also want to be able to do it, you can, here's how. Swamiji's pure compassion, pure grace, and of course, as Sadashiva himself, the energy that he just transmits to us, that initiation he gives, is something unprecedented. Every day he's taking it to a next level, so don't miss tuning into these live satsangs, because what's going to be shared is going to continuously blow our minds. And luckily, maybe not luckily, through the divine plan, we have enough doctors, enough researchers, enough people here with high qualifications to put this all to the test in a way that can be properly documented and recorded for posterity. So I can see for thousands of years, this is going to be discussed by people. Don't miss being a part of the happening as it's still fresh, as it's still new. Now is the time to be here and to enjoy. So please don't miss tuning in every day to the live satsang. Even we're excited. We don't know what's going to happen today that will be available for presentation tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Nithyanandam. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sat Guru Padukar Panamastu. Om Nithyanandam.